Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about the battle in the tea world between flavored teas, hot or cold, and straight non-flavored teas. And ultimately, who will win? Now before we begin, if you haven't been to the tea store, come visit us in Green, Texas, which is outside of New Braunfels, Texas, which is halfway between San Antonio and Austin. We'd love to meet you. We are a sit-down tea shop as well as doing retail and selling virtually. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already, and post a comment. Okay, so I'm doing home edition here. Casey's over at the tea shop on this. I'm recording this on a Saturday, so I'm watching the kids. I think this is a very timely discussion for all tea lovers because all tea lovers deal with this on a day in, day out basis. Now, we're not going to talk about sweet tea, iced tea, southern tea, not that. We're just going to talk about loose leaf tea. And there's essentially two general iterations of how you'll find loose leaf tea. And I'm not going to talk about any large companies or even tea shops that are in either of these groups, but we're going to talk about generality because I think you're going to know what I'm talking about. On one side, you're going to have the flavored teas. Now, what do I mean by flavored teas? Flavored teas are going to be like strawberry, pineapple, snickerdoodle, black tea. And so when you look at the ingredients of these flavored teas, you're going to see, if they even show the ingredients, it's going to have artificial flavor or natural flavor. They're going to add flavor to it to mimic the taste of whatever they're trying to do. Blueberry vanilla, French vanilla, creme brulee tea. You can't make that in nature, right? So they're going to have scientists who do this. They actually have tea scientists who are in labs to try to concoct these flavors to mimic those things. So those are flavored teas. Then on the other side, you're going to have straight teas. Now, straight teas doesn't necessarily mean like straight cultivars. Like right now, I'm drinking Longjing, which is Dragonwell, a classic Chinese green tea. That's what you would call a straight tea. There's no additions to it. It's Dragonwell, and that's it. I'm not even adding milk or honey or anything like that. You're just straight cultivar of a tea. Okay. So you'll see that. So that's on the other side. Also on the other side would be natural blends. So these are going to be teas or tisanes where you add in certain spices or certain herbs or whatever to create a natural blend. So one side will be natural flavored, artificial flavored. The other side will be natural straights or things that use natural things. So at Green Tea House, you already know if you've been there that our mission statement day one was to serve nothing that is natural flavors, artificial flavors. And this has been difficult because I will source teas and we try samples all the time from different places around the world. And some of them are amazing. I'm like, oh God, this would kill. This, whatever. White chocolate, baked Alaska, tiramisu green, or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, we can't. Because the thing about artificial flavors and natural flavors is you really don't know what's in the ingredients of these things. The FDA loosely defines these things. And so there's going to be additives and chemicals. And I'm not casting aspersions on any company or tea shops that sell these things. It's just not our mission statement. We are very holistic. We are very weary of BPA and plastics and hormone disruptors and all these things that you find in our food supply and in our house that are not necessarily good for us. So that's one of the reasons we don't serve anything in plastics. But the other side, the flavored side, they're smart. Because see, the thing is like, if we lived in an ideal world, people would buy, and not just tea, but just beverages, food, things that were healthy for them. But if you look at the most popular things in the United States, they're almost all vices. Alcohol, beer. How many beer commercials do you see? Fast food. How often do you see fast food businesses go out of business? Flavored, whatever, fill in the blanks, just sugary stuff. Just look at the grocery store. The middle aisles of the grocery store is all just Franken foods, just full of artificial flavors and food dyes and all this stuff. Why are they there? Because they sell. Because people buy them. So it's tough because you can either, as a small business, offer people what they want or offer people what is healthy for them. And offering people what they want, like in this case, flavored tea, is the smarter business approach in the typical town in America. because the flavored stuff is going to have added sugar. And people were hooked on sugar. We're hooked on sugar. And so that is smart. So when you're selling the flavored blueberry, watermelon, creme brulee flavored tea packets, either loose leaf or in tea bags, and people want, they're like, oh, this tastes good. But you're mimicking, you're blocking the actual taste of the tea, whatever tea is actually in there. So that is the smarter approach. We don't adhere to that. And I think many times it's to our detriment, because there are people who come into our tea shop, and I would call it an Asian tea shop. People who come into our tea shop who their experience with tea is either black tea from sweet tea, iced tea, or afternoon tea parties, princess parties, those things like that. And so when they come in and they see the different categories of tea, they don't even know that these exist. When we talk about Dragon Well or Iron Goddess of Mercy or Pu'er, just deer in the headlights, right? And they feel alienated. And it's strange because we don't sell the sweet tea. And so, can you pick a side? Should you pick a side? You know, you could use this example in so many places. Yogurt, right? How many yogurts? How many people eat Greek yogurt, unflavored Greek yogurt, and then maybe they add blueberries, granola to it? And then how many people buy Dannon flavored yogurt that already has tons of sugar in it? Most people will buy both. So there is a world, of course, where you can do both. You can do flavored teas and straight cultivar teas, which are healthier. But I would tell you, in the long run, we should develop a taste for unsweetened tea. In the long run, the better thing, and of course I'm biased because I'm in this party. We don't believe in using any flavoring in our teas. That we should develop a palate to drinking Dragon Well straight with no honey, no sugar. We should develop a palate for drinking natural blends. For example, like our cinnamon black tea. That is Keeman with cinnamon bark pieces, true cinnamon, and then orange pieces and cloves. Now, if you drink that and you're used to the fill-in-the-blank well-known companies cinnamon spice, you're going to notice that it's a subtler flavor. Why? Because we're not spraying our teas with fake stuff. So in the short run, people are going to go and buy those flavored things because it's got the quick hit, it's got the sugar, and many people just don't care about artificial flavors in their diet. But if you look globally and traditionally, and that's what our cafe, our YouTube channel, our tea education classes are all about. If you look historically, people didn't drink tea that way. People drank tea straight. And really, they didn't add sugar until the colonial period, which was well a good 1,000 years into the history of tea as we know it. So in closing, how should you drink tea? I would tell you to avoid flavored teas. I would tell you to avoid the artificial flavored ones, which has the preponderance in the market. Whether you look at loose leaf online or retail online or drive-through iced tea places that there's tons of them in Texas, I would tell you that for your health, you should develop a palate for straight teas. You should develop a palate for teas that have no artificial sweeteners and whatnot. And this is a battle for sure in the tea world, because you will see the majority of people, in majority Facebook groups, are going to be in the flavored tea. You know, oh, I love this new fill-in-the-blank blend from fill-in-the-blank. Oh, it's amazing, it's amazing. And then you'll have a smaller minority of tea shops. Mostly these are going to be Asian-owned or Asian-inspired that won't sell that stuff because it's not healthy and it's honestly garbage. But this battle does exist. So in closing, I would tell you, choose the pure side, choose the clean side, choose the clean eating side, choose that side. You guys post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and God bless.